Okay, so if you are with me, okay, I believe you can hear me loud and clear. I believe you can hear me loud and clear. So, guys, let's commence this class. Today, we are going to commence today's session. We are going to commence today's session with uh coming. We're going to introduce you guys to what blockchain and cryptocurrency is all about. Please mute yourself if you are not speaking. If you are not speaking, mute yourself. Yes, thank you very much. Yes, so we are going to commence today's session with uh introduction to blockchain and cryptocurrency, and I believe you can see my screen. Yes, I believe you can see my screen. So if you can hear me, please, someone should just, only one person, just unmute yourself and say you can see my screen. You can see the understanding cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. Yes, yeah, thank you very much. That's all right. So understanding cryptocurrency. Okay, understanding cryptocurrency. Please meet yourself. Understanding cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. These terms, we have been hearing these terms. Some of us are on several crypto groups, and we are still finding it a little bit difficult to understand what this is all about. Let me tell you something. Is this class that is actually going to pave the way for you? All right. It's going to open the door to all those terminologies, all those things you have been hearing. This is where you are going to understand what it is. If you skip this class, all right, if you skip this class, you may find it a little bit difficult to cope later on. Even if you learn the hard way, you come back to realize that it's these things you should have learned in the beginning. So let's look at our plan of attack. This is our plan of attack. If you have been with us for a while now, you understand what I mean by plan of attack. Plan of attack is actually our course outline. All right, our course outline. Some of us have been in this kind of class before. We discuss all these things. But you're even on our live class and you understood this thing. But don't leave yet. Don't leave, because I'm going to be adding some things to those things that I've said before. I was in a particular condition, or the time I presented this to you, the situation then was totally different from this particular situation. So I might not mention some things that I said then, and I may say some things now that I did not mention in those classes. So you may want to listen attentively. But if you feel it's not necessary, you may want to take your leave. So it's up to you. This is our plan of attack. This is our course outline. So we're going to be talking about the history of money, the evolution of money rather. When they say evolution, evolution is how something started. For example, human beings started as fetus in our in the belly of our mother. Then we move to becoming a baby. From baby, you become a little boy or girl. You become an adolescent before you become an adult. That's evolution. Something started from somewhere, little by little, until it became something bigger, and it's still going to become something bigger later. So that's it. Evolution of money. We'll talk about why we need cryptocurrency and how the fiat currencies affect your savings, centralized ledger, and all of this you can see on my screen. So let's move forward because we don't have time. All right. So before we move on, I want to tell you something. These are few points that I would like you to, focus on, to look at before you start this course or this class, right? So the first point there is that this blockchain technology we are talking about is actually complex. There's a difference between blockchain and cryptocurrency, but blockchain itself is a very complex technology on its own. All right. So you may need to be patient. All right. You don't need to learn it. You don't need to focus too much on it. So it's very complex than what you can think. So don't, if you are finding it difficult, just take a break. All right. So the second thing I want you to know there is that when we are talking of cryptocurrency, blockchain, everything that you have been hearing, please try as much as possible to get your skin in the game. What I mean by get your skin in the game is that even if it is $1, just $1, even if it's just $1, please make sure you invest, because it's very easy for people to analyze something when they are outside the game. Look at football. Let me use football as an example. When you're on the field, when a player miss maybe penalty, you will see the audience that don't even know how to play, but they will say, "Oh, something that is supposed to play to this side." This it is very sweet when you're outside it, when you're outside the game. But when you're on the field, that's where you know that one more. This is how it is. You understand the whole thing when you are inside. So in this cryptocurrency too, it's very easy for you to say that Bitcoin will go like it to touch this place, bounce back, it will reach 100k. Until you enter the game, you understand that things don't work that way. Somebody can promise you 100x on a particular coin, and you will just be saying, yes, it can happen. Do you know the project, the use case of the project? Yeah, you be talking. If you have invested in projects very well, you understand that things don't work like that. So get your skin in the game if you really want to understand this thing. Even if it's $1, you are being broke, you can buy you buy data. You buy data, you have all these things. If you can sacrifice some of this your money, even if it's your food money, invest in this. Third point there is that you should be patient. All right, patience is the key in this thing because you face a lot of challenges. And one good news here is that this blockchain technology we're talking about, or this cryptocurrency you're saying, has just started. Okay, that it started in 2009. It just started. We have not seen the full manifestation of it, so you are still very early. So just be patient. Anything that happen, if you blow your account turn to zero, start again. So some of us go to university, study 4 5 years course, and you don't give up. You fail. Sometimes you write the carryover again till you finish. But when you start cryptocurrency and maybe after 1 month, but they ask you to buy one coin, bought it, or you did your analysis and you bought it and the thing did not go well, you give up. Crypto is a scam. Crypto is this. Crypto is that. No, no, you have to be patient. That patience you put in you going to primary school, from nursery, primary, secondary, university, and you did not give up. Come to think of it, all this primary school, secondary school, you are not gaining anything. You have not even seen the money you are looking for, safe, and you did not give up. Is it now 1 week investment that did not work for you that you should now give up on? No, that's not how things work, guys. That's not how it works. So be patient. We have not even started talking, but just know this. Just take note of this point. Be very patient. And lastly, is that anything we discuss here, forget that I'm presenting it. Some of you used to take screenshots that you will never go and you will never revisit. Please don't take screenshot. Write anything you use your hand to write. You will never forget it. It's a proven theory. Anything you use your hand to write, take notes. Take notes of all these points and revisit it. All these things I'm saying now, you think you already know it until you go and come back and find out that you can't even remember what it is. But anything you write down, you will never forget because you can also what revisit it. Right? So it's just like mathematics. Don't read mathematics, you solve mathematics. So now let's go to the first point, the evolution of money. We have limited time to spend here. We have it is 6:16. All right, so let's look at the evolution of money. I mentioned something about evolution. I said is when something started in its inception stage, it move on to a particular stage, and it keeps improving till it gets to the top. All right, so let's look at how money started. Let me tell you something. When people started transacting with money in this life, when people started transacting with money, it was not so when people started doing transactions generally, they did not start using money. They did not start making transactions using money. Please, the person that is in charge of, I think it's Absamad. If anyone wants to enter, please try to approve the person. I think somebody is complaining on the group that you haven't let him in yet. Let me check. Let me see how many people are on the call. Okay, we have 12 people here. Okay. I'm looking for Ayo. Okay, Ayo, yeah. Okay, let's see. All right. Well, anyone that wants to enter, please just allow the person to enter. Don't get carried away. All right. So yes, let's look at the evolution of money. Yes, we are saying something about how money started. They did not start uh, transactions using paper money. So if you think there was 5 naira in the olden days or 1 naira or 50 kobo, yes, those ones came later on. They started with a particular system called the barter system. Look at it here. You can see turkey here and carrots, some coffee, this thing here. They started using anything you have. If I have, yam, I can use yam to buy what anything. I can use to buy your slippers. I can use to buy your clothes. So they started using the product they have, the livestock they have, the crops they have, the animals they have to purchase whatever they want. Later on, they moved to using cowries. Then they improved. using coin and all those things. See, as all those things are coming after one the other one starts becoming obsolete. What I mean by obsolete is that it becomes somehow irrelevant. You can't, when they started using cowries now, you can't go back to using, well, you can go back to using livestock, but you will see very few people doing it. Later on, after using metallic coin, some people came up with paper money in China. All right, they started using paper money. When they're using this paper money, if you bring your livestock and you want to buy something, they will look at you as someone that is not serious. So from paper money in China, some Western countries like Sweden and some other countries like that, they started adopting it. Okay, China started it, they started adopting it in Sweden and some other countries. Then after the paper money, or when paper money was still working, they started improving on that paper money by converting. Instead of you holding that money, you can do electronic transfer. You can start doing transfer of funds through electronic means. All right. So after that, they started using credit cards to make payments. That's in 1950. They're using credit card to make payments. So there are some payments that you want to do that you may not need to hold that paper money again. Little by little, paper money is what is going into is becoming obsolete. In fact, till today, you see, we still have paper money, but we have systems that they don't accept paper money again. Like the secondary school I attended, they go on cashless policy, cashless, complete cashless policy. So little by little is going in extinction, not complete extinction, but it start becoming irrelevant. Now, in 1967, the first ATM card was created, and in 1999 they brought mobile banking. Instead of going to the bank to do transfer, you can just do everything on your phone. All right. So as you can see, everything is an improvement of the other one, an improvement of the other one. All right. So now looking at itself, this we have this paper money right now, but the question there is this: you that is on this call, how many times did you buy it airtime using paper money again? You just type your code, your bank code on your phone, star 770, everything has already gone. You can even borrow money using this itself. Everything's already going online. So little by little, all these things are going in extinction. But there is now one problem. Whether you are using mobile banking, or you are using your ATM card, or you are using any other electronic means of transfer of funds, everything still have one thing in common. What's that thing in common? Everything still have a link with this paper money. Whether it is credit card, ATM, or mobile banking, everything is still linked. It's just that they are converting it to a digital means. So in 2009, something happened. That's when the revolution happened. Not evolution this time, it's a revolution. Revolution is when something comes up, scatter the whole thing. Yes, revolution happened in 2009. It is not a physical revolution, actually. So a man called Satoshi Nakamoto. If you are behind Satoshi, that's where it comes in. Satoshi Nakamoto, nobody knows him. Nobody knows him. Some people say it's not even one person, that is a group of people. Whatever the situation, you just know that a man called Satoshi Nakamoto came up with an idea. He called it Bitcoin. He released the white paper discussing how the whole Bitcoin system is going to work. That Bitcoin system, which is Bitcoin protocol, Bitcoin rules, it came with something they call the blockchain. It uses what they call the blockchain technology. So any cryptocurrency you are hearing in this world, it was in 2009 that Satoshi Nakamoto came up with that development. All right. So he came up with that development, and it's that Bitcoin protocol, which is the blockchain, that is what he brought at that moment. So he explained how these things work, and this is what we are going to be looking at. So I just want you to know how money started and where we are right now, and why people are using block. So if you have been thinking of crypto, that what's the difference between crypto, and just know that Satoshi Nakamoto came up with something, and this thing he came is in form of a revolution to come and crush the problem that we have with all this previous monetary system we have. Now let's move on. Why do we need cryptocurrency? Why do we need cryptocurrency? See, there are lots of problems. Please mute your mic. Mute your mic. Let me see who is. I'm looking for someone. Well, actually, okay. Let's move on. So, why do we need cryptocurrency? Why do we need cryptocurrency? See, we have mentioned some of the things we have been facing. Okay, some of you were not in the class then. So, cryptocurrency as I've said, it came to solve some of the problems that this previous monetary system we have used. It came to solve the problem that they were facing. And one of the major one that they are facing is what they call inflation. Some of you know what inflation is already, but for those that don't know what inflation is, simply inflation is just like when the price is just when there is increase in price of something. When there's increase in price of something and the supply of that thing is not increasing. For example, for example, let me give you this. This is a recent release. This headline you're seeing here. They said almost a fifth of all US dollar that were created, that are in circulation, were created this year, 2020. If you don't know what that means, let me explain. You see, if you gather all the US dollar that we have in this world presently, right? All the US dollar, they said 1/5. That's 20%. That's is it 20%? Yes, 20%. 20% of all the US dollar that they have in circulation is was actually printed this year. That is, they are printing more money. Anything that will make 20% of all the US since the history of US dollar, the 20% of what is now in circulation was printed this year. That means they have printed plenty. The government have freedom to print as many money as they want, depending on what they want to use it for. And that's a very big problem. Do you know why it's a big problem? It's because what they call inflation. Let me give you an example of what happened during Shehu Shagari or Yakubu. One of these, I think it's Yakubu Gowon. There was excess money in the country. Do you know what he did? He started paying people in advance. Started paying people 12 months in advance for the work they have not done. So a lot of people have money. When you print money, the problem that is going to cause, people will be happy normally, but the problem is going to cause is inflation. And how does that inflation work? People become richer. But the problem is not about being rich. The problem is the price of things will skyrocket. The market women started increasing the price of things because these people could afford it. Okay? These people could afford it. And if the price of things increase like that, you have automatically, in fact, the economy of the country is at stake. Let me give you an example again. Let me give you another example. Let's assume, I always use this example for some of you on the group. Let's assume you have 5,000 naira. All right, you are not a government worker. You just have 5,000 naira that are saving. There was a time 5,000 naira was a very big money. Let me tell you, yes, very big money. Let's assume you have 5,000 naira, the paper money. You saved it in the bank. You are looking forward to building maybe two houses with that 5,000 naira. There was a time 5,000 naira could build two houses. So you just decide to save it in the bank. But during the time you are saving it in the bank, maybe they are giving you interest. The government decided to start printing money. It started printing money over the years. And at the end of the day, that 5,000 naira, you now have it till today. Tell me what you want to use that 5,000 naira to do. I just bought airtime this evening of 6,000 naira. I just bought 6,000 naira airtime this evening. There was a time this 6,000 naira could even build more than how many houses and cars. There was a time Volvo car, if you know Volvo car was 200 naira. So imagine saving that money from that time till today. And along the line, the government were printing money and causing inflation. Your money will become useless. That is why I always advise some of you that if you keep your money in your bank, you are keeping your money. You are exposing your money to risk because the government will not favor you because they will continue printing the money and automatically the price of things will increase and your money will become useless. If you don't spend that money on time, you will not be able to afford that thing that your money could afford. Same thing with pure water. Pure water was 5 naira. Pure water became 20 naira. If pure water was 5 naira, you had 5,000 naira, you'll be able to afford 1,000 pure water, 1,000 sachet of pure water. But if you save that money from that time, that 5,000, if you save it from that time till today, your 5,000 naira will be able to buy only 250 pure water instead of 1,000 pure water. So you can see how dangerous your money is inside the bank. So, and this is what cryptocurrency has come to solve. All right, this is what cryptocurrency has come to solve. Cryptocurrency, one thing about cryptocurrency is that you can't print another money. Once you create a currency, Bitcoin, for example, when they created Bitcoin was 21 million pieces. You cannot add to it. You can't add to it. It's just that they release some to circulation and you'll be releasing it little by little. But once it hits 21 million, there's nothing like 21 million and one pieces of Bitcoin in this world. So that is it. So how does it affect your saving? I've mentioned it. I've mentioned how it affects your saving. So for example, you have $100,000 in your account and the inflation year on year is 5%. By next year, your $100,000 is going to value. It's not going to turn to $95,000, but what you can afford with $95,000 is what you'll be able to afford with that $100,000 next year. If you leave it till another year again, it's going to become 90.5, 90.25, and next year again it become 85.6 until your money become totally useless. All right. So what is wrong with the fiat currency? I've mentioned some of it. Sometimes your bank can go bankrupt, and political instability in your country can also affect that fiat currency. When I say fiat currency, I mean the government issued currency like your naira, dollar, euro. It's not restricted to naira only. Other currencies too are facing this thing. In fact, Venezuela, I always give this example. Venezuela, if you look at their currency, it became very useless when the government were printing to the point that if you want to buy a cup of coffee, you use 5,000 pieces of their money to buy a cup of coffee. In Nigeria too, we used to buy one plate of rice, 7,500, 12,000. It has become so useless. Our money is becoming very, very useless. So the government can also speed up inflation on their own, and transfer charges and speed. If you have used PayPal before, you know how expensive all those transactions used to be, and it sometimes can be very slow. Sometimes it can even frustrate you. Your bank, maybe you try to withdraw and they show the ATM machine is just that's fault. It wants to dispense the money before, but something just happened and they send you a debit alert. If you go to your bank, they can tell you that come back in the next 15 days. All those kind of nonsense. This is what the fiat currencies are facing. But in the cryptocurrency space, all these things, transfer is very fast, the charges is very low. Although apart from Ethereum, we're going to talk about Ethereum later, but the charges are very low. You can send to anybody. There's no age restriction in the system. They will not tell you how to spend your money. Nobody will say this is the limit at which you can send daily. No, all those things don't exist in the cryptocurrency space. So these are few of the problems that our fiat currency, our government issued currencies are facing, and that is why we are introducing cryptocurrency. All right, so now let's talk about a centralized ledger. We're running out of time. Let's talk about centralized ledger. When I say centralized ledger, don't let this word confuse you. Don't let it look big to you. You're here. When I say a ledger is just like a book. All right, ledger is just like a book. Look at this book at the down left corner here. Just like a book where they record transaction. For example, I sent something to Gloria. I sent $100 to Gloria. I'm not sending $100 to you, but I'm just using as an example. They will write in that book. They can put a date there. All right, date and time, and you say Ali sent $100. I sent money to Gloria, amount $100, and maybe signature. All right, so that is how it looks like. So that's when you hear ledger, that is what should come to your mind. It's actually more than that, but that should just be what should come to your mind. Now, when I say a centralized ledger, when you hear the word centralized, decentralized, try to understand this. Central, from the word central, there's a central body. Look at it here. There's a central body that is holding this book. All right, anything any other person wants to do, you have to come and account to this central body. They are the only one that have this book. You know how dangerous that could be if there's only one person or an organization holding the book and not giving access to other people. Anything can happen. All right, it may not be a book, it may be in Excel format. All right, look at Microsoft Excel, it can be in that format. So whatever the case may be, it is open to a lot of risk. Like what? They can change it, fire outbreak, or the server can have problem. Many things can happen to this thing because it's only one person that is holding it. So, but in the cryptocurrency space, they use blockchain, and blockchain is decentralized. When I say decentralized, they completely remove this what middleman. They remove this middleman completely. You may be wondering that, so how are they going to do it? How are they going to do it? We are going to understand how they do it. So this is how your bank works actually. This is how your bank works. When someone deposits money, you know, for the time being where your money is in the account, they will be giving you interest because someone is actually going to come and borrow it, and the bank earns some percentage from it. So they also offer value added services like bank transfer and all of that. That's not where we're going to. Now let's talk about blockchain. I said something about the opposite of this central ledger. This central ledger system. The opposite of central ledger system is what? Decentralized ledger system. All right. So, and that is what the blockchain use. That is what blockchain is all about. When you hear the word blockchain, this is what it is based on: removing the middleman in any form of activity you are doing in the digital space. Anything you are doing online, once you remove this middleman, it's the only blockchain that will allow you to remove this middleman and do what? And make transactions or communicate with anybody. It's not just restricted to money. It can be on social media apps. Like Facebook, for example. Facebook have their server in their place. They can do anything to you. They can block you for no reason. They can tell you what to do. Don't post this. Post this. Don't comment on a political something. They can tell you what to do. But in the blockchain system, you can create your own social media app and remove this middleman there. Remove this middleman from the space, and everything is going to go smoothly. And that's it. Although it has its own disadvantages, but we'll talk about that later. So, what is blockchain? What is blockchain? We have limited time. What is blockchain? Blockchain is a continuously growing list of records called blocks, which are linked and secured using cryptography. It is not hard to understand at all. It is not hard to understand. Now, let me make you understand this very well. They said a continuously growing list of records. Remember when we talked about ledger? What is a ledger? A ledger is like a book that store record of anything. It may not be monetary transaction. It can be any other thing. So this blockchain is also like that. It's just like a book that stores continuously growing list of record. But they don't call the the record. They don't call it pages. It's not like pages of a book. They call it blocks in the blockchain system. They call it blocks. So anytime you think of blockchain, just remember that it's just like a book, but it exists online. But the pages are not called pages. They call them block. All right. Now, one good thing about blockchain is that, or one thing that differentiates blockchain from your normal book, your ledger, your centralized ledger, is that the pages of a book are linked together using what? Maybe stapled pin. You know, when you see a book, you see stapled pin holding them together. But in blockchain, the pages are called blocks. What link them together is what they call cryptography. You don't know what that cryptography is, but I will tell you what it is. It's very complex. It's complex, but can be simplified to the point that a 5-year-old kid is going to understand it. So when you think of blockchain, just say, okay, blockchain is just like a book that has continuously growing list of record like a ledger too. But what links them together is what they call cryptography, not stapled pin. Very simple. Read it again. A blockchain is a continuously growing list of records called blocks, which are linked and secured. Not just linked this time. A book can be linked with stapled pin, but it can be torn. Someone can tear it, it can be burnt. But this time, they now secure it, not just linking it, they also secure it using that cryptography. That cryptography, it can never be hacked. Never. No hacker in this world presently can do it. If you want to hack anything in any SHA-256 code, you want to hack it, to take you billions of years. Your generation will never even complete it. You will know why later. So let's move on. Now, how does a block looks like? This is how a block looks like. This is how a block looks like a page of a book. All right. Now, in this page, in a ledger, in a book, normally they can write different columns of something. They can write name, serial number, name, amount, signature, all those things. In a block, it's also like that. What are those things that comprise a block? A lot of things comprise a block. But the little ones that you need to know is, number one, your data. Whatever you want to write there, it can be a transaction, it can be anything. Data. The second one is what they call previous hash. This is where cryptography comes in. This is the thing that is linking those pages together. And the last one is called hash. I want you to see hash like a fingerprint. No fingerprint, no two fingerprints in this world looks what alike. Everyone's fingerprint is different. So just know that for every page in a blockchain, the hash is always different. And that is what makes blockchain unique. That's what makes blockchain unique. Every page or every block in a blockchain is unique because the hash, which is the fingerprint, is unique. Now, how would you understand this? How would you understand this? Now, let's look at the blockchain system. For every blockchain, we have different blockchain. We have Bitcoin blockchain, we have Ethereum blockchain, we have Solana blockchain. Every system have their own blockchain. All right. So for every blockchain, there is always a first block, which is like a first page of a book. They call it the Genesis block. Genesis. In the Bible, the first book in the Bible in the Old Testament is called Genesis. So this is the Genesis block. All right. The Genesis block has its own data, whatever they want to write there, whatever the transaction is going to be. So we're going to look at the previous hash. Now, this Genesis block does not have a block before it. All right, because it's the first block. So the previous hash automatically becomes what? 0. All true. And the hash that comes with this block is this. Now, how do they generate this hash? Why is this hash different? Do you know why this hash is different? It is simply because when you want to generate this hash, you have to gather all the information in this block, the data, the timestamp. I did not mention timestamp here before, but there are some other informations that are in this block. When you gather all the data, the timestamp, the previous hash, when you gather everything together, is that thing that is going to generate this hash for you. Now, you should just think of it. No two blocks is going to have the same page. Even in a book, no two pages will have the same thing. Even if they write the same thing, the handwriting will be different in a way. They can be full stop in one and they will not be full stop in the other one. That is what makes this block in a blockchain very unique, to the point that the fingerprint can never be the same. Every transaction, people are making transaction every day. No two transactions will be the same. Even if they do the same activity in the first day and second day together, the timestamp, the time that it happened, the date it happened, they are enough to change this fingerprint. So this is the Genesis block. Now you can see the data here. Now let's look at the second block. The second block is like the second page. All right. Now the second block has its own data, right? Has its own information, whatever they do with the second day. It may not be the second day. It can just be like after the first page is filled. Okay. So it has its own data. Now, it has its own previous hash because it has a page before it. It has a block before it. Now, this previous hash is picked from this first hash. Whatever this first hash gives you is what this second hash is going to what carry. Now, it will now have its own hash. Now, how do you get this one's hash? How do you get its hash? When you gather all the data in this block, plus this previous hash and other informations, when you gather them together and put it in a particular system, it's not your job, it's the computer that will do it actually. When you put it in that system, it will generate this fingerprint. Do you know the meaning of that? Anything that will make you say you want to change anything in this Genesis block, even if you want to add a full stop to it, the hash will change. Don't forget that this hash was generated from all the informations you gather in this block. If you should change anything, there's something called the Avalanche Effect. You just change one small thing, the hash is going to change. I will show you an example. So when you change this hash, what happens? The previous hash of this one changes. And when the previous hash of this one changes, what happened? All the information that was used to generate this hash will automatically change this hash. But you know one thing? Anything that will make you change this block after the block is complete, or put a fraudulent transaction, or try to add something, remove something, you are trying to say all the previous block that comes after it will be what? Invalid. That's where the red flag comes in. It will not even happen. When we move on, you understand why it will not happen. The system is created in a way that all these things, hackers cannot even come in. When they try to change something, everything is going to what? Everything is going to show red and it will overwrite itself. No, that is it. So you can see what is holding both of them together. It looks like a chain. What is the chain? The previous hash is holding it tight. The page 2 cannot exist without gathering the information from page 1. So when you look at definition of blockchain, blocks that are linked with what? Chains. Blockchain. So when you think of blockchain now, you look at it as a page that are linked together with a chain. That chain is what? The previous hash. I think I'm making this very easy for you guys to understand. This is not how it works, but this is the basics of. If you understand this, don't worry, you will not have any problem anything blockchain again. This is page 3. Page 3 is doing the same thing. Has its own data, carrying the previous hash of page 2 of block 2. And block 2 hash is what generated from block 1. So block 1, if you change anything from block 1, you are changing block 2. What? You are also changing block 3. and that will never happen. The system will never allow that to happen. Now, this is why we say blocks are what? Cryptographically linked together. They are linked together using what? Cryptography, unlike books that are linked together using what? People pin. So when you hear blockchain, this is what should first come to what? Your mind. So what is blockchain and what is cryptocurrency? Blockchain, as I've said, is the technology of distributed ledger that gives control to people instead of bank. All right. Now, let me explain. You have understood how the blockchain works. This is how it works. Now, let me tell you something again. It is not just that. All these blocks you are seeing, we have removed the central system, like the banks, like other system, like Facebook, like TikTok, like WhatsApp. We have removed the central system. How does it now work? It's what they call the distributed ledger system. Instead of this middleman holding the book, or instead of all these companies holding the server, all right, they distribute it across every computers. Every computer. They call them nodes. Node. We'll be using this word often. Please take note of it. They call them nodes. Node. When you hear node, it is computer. It is like people like you and I that are mining on their computer. They call them nodes. Alright? So they distribute this ledger across every computer. We have millions of computers that are nodes holding this thing. You can view all the things that are happening. If you like send 1 million Bitcoin, somebody can see it. Can't hide. But the good thing there is that it is anonymous. You will not see the person's name, but everyone is seeing what is going on. Now, imagine someone trying to change this blockchain. Let's assume someone tried to change something in this blockchain. Right? Someone tried to change something in this block number one, and it's showing red in everything. Now, the blockchain works in a way that once once something is different, because hackers can find their way to do something and enter the block and try to change. But the system is now built in a way, it's a distributed ledger system. It exists on other computers. Anything that maybe someone tried to add a transaction, it may be fraudulent, it may not be fraudulent. When you try to add something to the blockchain, every other computer is going to be alerted that something is happening in this social person's computer. Someone is trying to change something in block number something. You confirm that transaction. Is it true? If it's true, everybody will hold that transaction in their computer. It's not people that are coding it to know. The computer automatically add it to their system across. But if they verify the way they verify transaction, that's the work of miners. When you hear mining, that's what they do. So if they verify that transaction and they find out that it's fraudulent, because a fraudulent transaction will always be fraudulent. There is always an atom that will show that it is fraudulent. Once they discover that it is fraudulent, they will look at other computers. All right, the blockchain itself will look at other computers and see that, are you also carrying it? Are you carrying it? Are you carrying it? It will take a vote. It's a very fast thing actually. It will take a vote. If 51%, if 51% of the computers around are saying no, it will automatically discard that transaction. But if 51% of the computers are saying yes, it is true, at least they have it too on their computer, it automatically add it to the system. Now imagine a hacker wants to add a fraudulent transaction to the system, wants to steal 1,000 Bitcoin. You know how many computers you will have to hack? He doesn't even know how many nodes we have in the world. That's why you see miners actually. That's why you see some miners trying to create plenty computers, building mining farm, because they have the ability to do it. But there's no how big you want to do it. How can you achieve 1% of all the computers? Imagine we have up to 100 million computers in the world. You have to have 51%. That's 51 million. You have to hack through 51 million and try to add those transactions to their block, to their nodes, their computers, where it can say yes, it is true. You have the, and that's very stressful. Before you can even beat 51%, the money you are using to even build all those things, you'd have used to do something better with your life. So this is how impossible it is to hack decentralized system, which is the blockchain system that Satoshi Nakamoto brought for us earlier. So you can see how good it is. So this is how it is. This is central system. You can see they're accountable to this. But as I mentioned earlier, the distributed ledger system, node A, node B, node C, node D, all of them, they are holding the ledger. And node A cannot change it. Node B cannot change it. Node D cannot change it. Only verified transactions will be that are called across all the ledger. So blockchain is used to transfer money and is secured using cryptographic hash. We'll talk about hash later. Hash SHA-256. You can go and read up. Read up. So That's it. And let's see, what is cryptocurrency now? Cryptocurrency is actually, you see, we're talking about blockchain since not cryptocurrency. We're talking of blockchain. That is how the blockchain system, anything can exist on the blockchain. Social media can exist on the blockchain. Just that we're removing the central body. Whatever you are doing in your life, anything you do can exist on the blockchain. Now, when we now talk about cryptocurrency, you know what currency is? Currency is your is that thing that you use to make transaction, right? So, like your naira, your dollar. So when that currency now uses cryptography, which we explained, it uses cryptography or it exists on the blockchain using cryptography that we just explained, it automatically becomes what? Currency. So don't let the word cryptocurrency confuse at all. So blockchain is technology that uses what? Transfer of that's used that uses that transfers currency from one point to the other using what? Cryptography. As you can see the distributed ledger system of Web3. We have been in Web3. Web3 uses blockchain, and cryptocurrency what? Uses blockchain. So that's this. Crypto is what? Using cryptography, as I've explained. Currency is the value of money. Now, cryptocurrencies, example of cryptocurrencies we have is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and many of them. You can visit CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko. This is just a crash class, all right? This is a crash class. We just want you to understand what Bitcoin and what blockchain and cryptocurrency is all about. And I believe if you are new to this system right now, should understand by now what those systems actually represent, all right? So now let's look at the difference between our fiat currencies and our cryptocurrency. When I say fiat currencies, get used to fiat. Fiat means your government issued currency. Now, your fiat currency, the physical medium of exchange, is a physical medium of exchange. All right. So, like your naira, you use money, use cash, all those. But in cryptocurrency, everything is completely digital. If you see someone that wants to give you Bitcoin coin that is hard, like physical that you can touch, run away. That money is fake. There's nothing physical in cryptocurrency. Now, also, fiat money or fiat currencies are represented using coins or bills, your paper money, all right, as I've said. But in cryptocurrency, how you how you own a currency is actually through what they call private key and public key. We are going to explain that in our next class. Also, in fiat money, you have unlimited supply. That is, the government can produce as many as possible. But in cryptocurrency, you have limited supply. Once they create it, that is it. Right? Each currency has a set maximum. Also, please mute yourself. Your fiat currencies are issued by the government, but your cryptocurrencies are what? Produced by computers. Your fiat currencies are centralized. Please, someone should the person that is reading should mute yourself. So your fiat currencies are actually centralized. I've explained the word centralized here. They are issued and controlled by the law and banks. But your cryptocurrencies are completely decentralized, not controlled. Please mute yourself. I'm hearing myself. So your cryptocurrencies are completely decentralized. That is, they are not controlled by any government or entity. Now, lastly, your fiat currencies are valued by the markets and regulations. If they bring a new rule, the currency can drop, it can rise, all those things. Whatever the market is dictating is what your currency is going to worth. But your cryptocurrencies are actually determined by supply and demand. It depends on how people are buying it and the total in supply, how the need for it arises. That's what determine how rise or fall. That's why we see people doing a lot of marketing and all that, so that people can demand for it very well. So that's just what we are going to discuss today. Evolution of web, we will not talk about it. We will not talk about evolution because somehow advanced. So is blockchain technology all about money? I've told you it's not about money. Blockchain technology, when you talk about monetary transaction, you can use Bitcoin. Ethereum, we're going to talk about Ethereum later. Ethereum is not just a money. Ethereum is not just for transaction. You can use Ethereum to build smart contracts. You can build applications that will exist in the blockchain system itself. All right, Facebook, TikTok, all these things, you can build them and deploy them on Ethereum, and we'll be using it, and it's going to be completely decentralized. So when you hear blockchain, it's not just about money, buy this coin, buy this coin, buy this coin. No, 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 that's not how it works here. We have some currencies that are here for money. We have some other platforms in the blockchain system that are there to create your decentralized applications, or to even create a decentralized financial system, like your banking, the way you loan. You can loan money in the crypto space. So you can loan money in the crypto space. You can lend money out and you earn interest. You can do what again? You can you can borrow, you can provide, you can do stock exchange, you can provide liquidity, you can do many things. Everything that you think this insurance, you can insure your property on the blockchain system. Guys, this thing is massive. And if you're on this call, see, you are very lucky if you're on this call that you are adopting blockchain technology at this moment right now. Guys, you don't know what God has done for you. Just stick around. No matter how difficult you think it is, just stick around. You would thank God that you took this step. So that's it. You can also, there's something they call metaverse, NFT, and all those things. We'll explain all these things later on. But just know that blockchain technology is not just about Bitcoin, money, and all those. All right. So that is where we are going to, and I'm going to. Okay. So that's where we're going to end this evening's class. All right. Let me let me stop sharing my screen. Okay, let's go back to. Yes, how many of us are on this call? Just 14. That's nice. It's very good. I hope I've impacted in people's lives this evening, and I've made some points to you guys. So if you are new to crypto and blockchain, I believe there are a lot of newbies here. Please just accept the system and try to follow us back to back. Don't be silent on the group. That's one of the things that kill a lot of people. I have a lot of people that have taken my course as far back as how many months ago, and at the end of the day, they find out that they have not gained anything. I see, if you attend my class for just one day and you not gain anything, you need to check yourself. You need to check yourself. You need to check yourself. So please, guys, just stick with us back to back. Ask questions on the group. Ask questions on the group. Anything you see online, just come and drop it. If it's too complex for you to understand, I will tell you that no, don't touch it yet. We're going to talk that later. Make your own research. Don't wait for us to bring something to the table. Make your own research, and you see that this thing will start making sense to you. So I'm going to entertain some questions because I'm already late. I'm going somewhere right now. Let's see. Just if anyone have a question, please just unmute yourself. We'll take only three questions and we're going to move on. Thank you. Yes. Any question? Uh, no question. Yes. Okay. Okay. That's a very good question. You see, this class. One thing about blockchain cryptocurrency is that there is something that is evolutionary. New things come up every day. But for this basic class, you are just going to use it, do it for 4 days. All right. We're going to do it for 4 days. But if there is other things we need to discuss, like maybe you know, a new discovery, we can just fix a class for it. So sometimes I like yesterday's class. Is it yesterday or 2 days ago? I just came up with it. I just said we should just have class this evening. All of that. So it happens like that too. But for this particular class we are taking, which is the introductory class, the introductory session, it's going to last for just 4 days. You can see my slides. After this, thanks for listening. Day two is there. Coins versus token. So we still have a lot of things to discuss that would broaden our knowledge on. So I think I've answered that question. Just 4 days. Any other question? Okay, I assume there is none. Well, if you have any question, actually, you can. All right, all right. No, no, it hasn't started. It has not started yet. But don't worry. Other information, any information about POSEX or any other thing we have done in the past, we are going to drop them in the because they just finished their sacrifice some days ago. Yesterday, just finished the sacrifice. It's early this morning. So, but they have not released. Once they launch their blockchain, their pulse chain mainnet, once they launch it, they would open the room for providing liquidity and staking. Right. So if anyone is confused, please, newbies, don't be confused about that. We're going to talk about all those things. Yeah. Any other question? Yeah. It no, no, it's not. They've they've taken the snapshot. They have taken the snapshot. No, the when you see a platform like that coming out to say the airdrop is going to be massive, just know that they have taken the snapshot. In fact, I saw it somewhere already that they have taken the snapshot. I think they took the snapshot in midnight. It was I dropped the link yesterday. I actually dropped the link yesterday, but it tweeted today. That's Richard Hart. Right. So let's end this class. Okay, guys. If you have any question, if you have any question, please go ahead to ask on the group. I'm going to end this call. You guys can leave right now. Thank you.